In this video, I'm going to give step-by-step advice on how to successfully create an unsuccessful apologetics YouTube channel. I figure that there are a number of videos out there telling people how to create successful apologetic channels, and so I wanted to provide a video on how to create an unsuccessful one. Step 1. Make sure that if you're starting a new channel that you try to form original or at least somewhat original arguments of your own. People love hearing the same arguments repeated over and over again from famous people. So trying to be original will help sync your channel, since people won't take you seriously unless your argument is also being used by a famous person that they've heard of using that argument. It doesn't matter if the argument you're making is good or not, because in order to be popular, what matters is that the argument you are presenting is widely used by others, preferably popular people. Step 2. Make sure that if you're inviting guests onto your channel that they aren't well known. Again, people only listen to well-known figures, so if you want to be unpopular, talk to other lesser-known people. Audiences don't care if those guests have anything legitimate to say because that's not what most people primarily tune in for. Step 3. Make sure that your content is not tribalistic in tone. This means that you should try to seek the truth in all claims and fairly and charitably represent the other side as much as possible. Because people will say that they hate tribalism, but the secret is most people love it. So don't shy away from avoiding tribalism if you're seeking to build an unpopular apologetics channel. Step 4 is tricky, but try to keep people from commenting on or liking your videos. Frequent comments and likes on videos help promote your content, so the more comments and likes you get, the more widely your content gets promoted by YouTube. Now, if you find yourself in the situation that your videos are getting a lot of comments, you could consider turning off the comment feature in the settings. But the downside is that this will prevent you from getting that one negative comment at the bottom of your video from the lone person who decided to tell you how terrible your video was. This lone comment can really poison the well for other people tuning in and hurt your credibility, especially if that's the only comment at the bottom of the video, because would-be Christian supporters most of the time don't leave a comment at all. So, allowing people to comment on your videos allows for that singular negative remark to remain floating at the bottom, which again is really effective for at least giving the appearance that your channel is not popular, which can certainly help in the long run. Step 5 is also tricky because it's entirely outside of your control, but try to avoid being promoted by other channels, especially if those channels have a lot more subscribers than you do. Oftentimes, apologetics channels grow faster because they're promoted by larger apologetics channels. So it's really key that larger channels don't promote your channel. This means that you also don't want to be invited onto their channels. Again, you don't have control over this because they have to invite you onto their channel first. However, if they do happen to invite you onto their channel, you could always turn them down. But you might feel bad in turning them down, so try to do whatever you can to avoid attention from the larger channels so that they don't invite you on in the first place. But if you follow steps 1 through 4, you'll probably be ignored by these larger channels, so step 5 should naturally result as long as you stick to steps 1 through 4. I know that this was a lot of information, and there are some other things you can do as well, like not having a vibrant, outgoing personality or a PhD in philosophy or theology will also greatly help in developing an unpopular apologetics channel. But you may find that you already possess those things. In that case, practicing steps 1 through 5 should still prove to be effective at demoting your channel. Now, don't get discouraged if your channel doesn't become unsuccessful quickly. Keep in mind that it can take time. Just keep at it. Not everyone is able to have an unsuccessful apologetics channel, especially if they get attention from larger channels or get promoted a lot on social media. But don't lose motivation or any sense of self-esteem because you're being encouraged by so many fans and supporters. If you practice steps 1 through 5, your channel will be able to significantly drop in the number of views that you're receiving, even if you currently have a handful of subscribers. Now, at this point, you're probably not watching, or maybe you are. Some argue that dialetheism is true, so who knows? But hopefully this video made sense, and thanks for watching.